Hello, this is a vlog, I guess. I've never done a vlog before. I'm just kind of putting things together and kind of just figuring it out myself. Don't know anything really about that stuff, but I've heard that a lot of people kind of tell their story kind of day to day and all that stuff and kind of give their ideas on life and stuff that they like to do, travel, all kinds of different things. And I kind of wanted to set up a vlog, I guess, to kind of just help, uh, keep my mind occupied and kind of do things and go and like kind of just just to kind of, I guess it's kind of like therapy in a sense. Because not too long ago, my wife passed away, and I really don't want to start this off like that because I think it's going to be just the worst video ever. And it's probably going to be one of those things where no one wants to watch it because it's just, sad and depressing and but whatever. But I'm just going to kind of skim over everything because I don't want to talk. I'm not going to give details and all that. But not very long ago, that happened, and I'm still trying to get through it and try to deal with like kind of like the PTSD kind of aspect of it. Because when you watch somebody slowly suffering in the hospital and dying, and doctors really are not helping you or kind of on your side, even as the husband, it really kind of depresses you, and you kind of turn into this fighter. It's either fight or flight type of thing. And I noticed that there wasn't a lot of men or husbands around, or even family members visiting all their family members in the ICU, and I was there for a long time. So I kind of noticed that even the chaplain kind of pointed that out to me a little bit when he was there to check on me to see how I was doing and everything. And I just noticed that not too many people actually give a damn, okay? I'm just going to say it, and if it hurts your feelings, I'm sorry, but to for people that are in the hospital suffering and just kind of sitting there in a stupid ventilator or with something down their throat helping them breathe, because I found out my wife didn't even need that. So anyway, I'm not going to get into that, but my point is she had this in one point and it was in her throat, and I just had to keep cleaning her lips and taking care of her, and I just felt so bad, and she couldn't talk. I probably shouldn't get in. This is too. It'll be too emotional. I don't want to start this off emotional. So basically, they just overdid it with the vents. I'm not going to get into that story. I don't want this to be about that. Okay, this whole vlog is not about that. Uh, but yeah, I was married to her for 11 years. Her name was Olivia. Anyway, so that went on for like 2 months in the hospital of nonstop, and I had to drive down to the hospital like an hour every single time too, and I was down there all the time. I probably spent $1,000 in gas, parking, all the nonsense of a big city because I hate big cities. I live in the country. I don't like the big city. I just hate it. And all the things I dealt with and all the things I seen over the course of her, all of the things that were going wrong. She had a lot of infections that started because she was a kidney transplant person, so she had her brother's kidney in her, and that means she had a weakened immune system. And I just think it's kind of funny that she survived COVID twice without a vaccine. And they even told me, well, in the highest worst time of COVID, when she was tested positive for COVID and she couldn't go to work, that yeah, your husband can go to work. And she actually said on the phone, but my husband sleeps with me. You do understand that? And he said, oh yeah, that's fine. He can go to work. And then right from then on, I kind of knew something was up. Obviously, it wasn't as bad as people were saying. Never mind the fact that the flu and all that stuff disappeared for 2.5 years. It just disappeared. We couldn't find it. It just COVID numbers, and then all of a sudden that all disappeared, and now we're back to normal. Seems a little suspect, but whatever. Anyway, so she survived all those horrible things called COVID, and with no immune system apparently. And even though the president was saying that she would die, of course, that anybody with a weakened immune system, they're dead. So she must have died twice, I guess. But eventually, she got some kind of infection. That's what got to her, And we didn't know about that because it was getting close to the time when she would start needing a kidney transplant. And I wish I would have thought of this, but I wish I would have known. But she ended up getting some kind of infection, and we didn't notice, I guess, because we were assuming that she was just going to need a transplant and try to be on dialysis or something at some point. And then that's kind of what was going to happen. So we didn't think that this was an infection. We thought it was just her kidney kind of winding down because she's going to need to be put on the list to get a new kidney. So unfortunately, we didn't catch this thing, and it kind of started spreading. Whatever it was, it became a multiple things all at the same time eventually, and I had to sit with her in the hospital eventually and just suffer. And in the beginning, the infection went to her brain, and I could literally watch her 1 minute, like she was texting me to go get some food from her friends. My wife's Filipino, and her Filipino friends had food for her that she wanted me to go pick up. And then it was a Friday, I remember. And then what happened is I text her. I'm like, what time do you want me to pick it up? And then at that time, the hospital had already decided that she has some kind of breathing problem already. So she sent me a picture because I seen her, she typed like CA. And I'm like, what's that mean? And then and then she sent me a photo. And it was of her with one of those CPAP type of whatever. It goes over your whole freaking face. And she's like sitting there, and you could tell she wasn't even herself at this point. So then I panic, and I just get my ass down there, and I drive. It's an hour, like I said. And I get down there, and of course I see her, and she doesn't even know who I am now at this point. So I'm getting really mad. I am really fed up at this point. I'm like, what happened to my wife? Did she have a stroke? How did this happen while I was gone? And of course she can't eat because they want to shove something down her throat, and she can't. It's just all this horrible stuff. She can't talk anymore at this point. So all the information I need for the bank to pay bills and all that stuff, I don't know it because she took care of all that stuff, and she was doing great with that. So we basically got screwed when that happened. And everything went wrong. Like everything that you can imagine went wrong at that point. Because I had no information. I had to keep trying to figure out what to pay, how to pay, get it in my name, whatever. And I mean, a lot of the stuff was in my name already, but I didn't know the passwords and all that. It was just a nightmare. You're going to see me kind of ramble sometimes. The point is that she had infections and all this stuff, and we went through all this time in the hospital. One day they would tell me she's getting better. The next day she'd tell me, oh, it might be getting worse. And there was like 8 different doctors, and none of them actually communicated with each other ever. I had to yell at them about that. Even the nurses supported me on that. Of course, secretly, they wouldn't say it to the doctor's face. They would tell me when they're alone. But eventually she went home for hospice. She told me that she's going to die. And it was never a positive anything. In fact, and here's the part where I'm going to tell you, I'm a Christian. I know that's going to offend everybody probably, because you're not supposed to be a Christian anymore. You're supposed to just believe in the science. And that's the only religion in the world now, so we can't have any faith in God, that God can heal or do anything. And I had this talk with those doctors as well. And they didn't like to hear that either, because God has been wiped out of the hospitals, cleaned, wiped out. They used bleach, scrubbed everything down, and God has been taken out of all of the hospitals. You can't say Jesus unless you're the person who's in there, dealing with your wife suffering. But if you're a nurse or a doctor, you can't say anything about that, or no one believes in it, apparently, because that's the way it seemed. So I was probably the only Christian in the building, and I could definitely tell because there was like this emptiness in that hospital, like there was soulless, like non-caring, like just not human, like. But anyway, so eventually she went home for hospice, and I had to take care of her for a while anyway. Not super long, because it didn't take long for her to just die, but I went through all that, and then we had a memorial service when she died, and there was a couple of things. I had some things, spiritual things that happened to me in that period. I'm not going to get into all that, but I just figured I'd get into this because I need to get this over with so that I can start actually doing the vlogs. And sometimes I'll say that I'll talk about, I know as time goes progresses, I'll get better and everything will be better. And but I'll say this, that because of all the things that I seen and watching her suffer, and it's just like every single day was like breaking your heart over and over and over and over and nonstop breaking your heart. And you have to give meds to this person, you have to take care of this you have to clean this person because hospice is only there for an hour before they leave. And I don't mind any of that. I could do it. I've helped mentally handicapped people before as a job, and it didn't bother me. But when it's your wife and you know she's going to go, that's really hard, okay? So, but trying not to have a breakdown here, but from that, because of that happened, and because of the suffering that I went through for that, there was greater suffering than I think I've ever faced in my life. Because of that, every now and then I get these flashbacks. It's like PTSD, like Vietnam type of, whatever. And I get these flashbacks and I see things like quick images of her in her horrible state, like in her hospice bed or in the hospital. Or the other day was one when I was in the store and I just turned and I shouldn't even talk about this. I might get emotional too. Anyway, I seen like a quick image, a quick like memory or whatever of me walking when I left the hospital at night, because I would stay there until like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning sometimes before I go home, because we have dogs and I have to take care of the dogs and it's like an hour away, like I said. And I would just see like, I just seen it like when I'm walking, when I'm leaving, and I'm like looking back and seeing her like that. Anyway, I don't want to start this off sad, but anyway, I see have those sometimes, and I'm trying to get better, okay, and it's not like I'm doing this memories on purpose, and it's whatever. And also when you got a cell phone, it's even worse. When you used to travel together, it's even worse because you have all these short videos, these pictures, and I'm finding, I don't know, there's nobody that gave me any answers for how to deal with this and how to deal with all the things after she passed. Nobody gave me any answers. No help, really. I have friends that did help me, but like they want to help or whatever, but it's like certain things you can't really help a person with. They kind of have to do it themselves. And the stuff, the trauma, whatever from this is something that I kind of have to do, and it just sucks to do it on my own. So I don't want this vlog to be all about that, but I just wanted to say that I'll be dealing with that and getting over that. But this is just how I wanted to start this, so I could kind of put this as the closure to that part of my life, because now I want to move on and I want to start just kind of doing my day-to-day on a video every day, if I can get every day, depending on how busy I get. But I just want to do that. And also I just wanted to kind of like document my life as I get better even. But it's kind of like a therapy for me, I think, so I can kind of just show whatever day-to-day life, whatever. But I'm sure tomorrow the thing that I put out will be different, because I think I'm going to go drive and get some rice and some coffee that I like that my wife used to drink. Anyway, that'll be totally different. It won't even be nothing like this. So don't think every video is going to be like me sitting on the couch depressed or whatever. But yeah, this is getting really long, and I don't like making super long videos. So I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. And also, I didn't say in the beginning, but my name is Leo, and I'm calling this vlog The Daily Rut because it kind of ties into my last name, but I'm not going to give that away yet. Right now, I don't know if I'm going to open up about that. You just can't trust some people on the internet. So, but yeah, it's the this vlog will be called The Daily Rut, and it's going to be like me, kind of the daily living of me kind of thing. Yeah. So that's kind of how it is. And this video is probably not the best. I'm sure it'll get better over time, but I'm just going to try to do this as much as possible. So thank you. Like, share, and subscribe, and also comment and let me know what you guys think, what you're thinking about the things that I talk about. I'd like to see all kinds of comments. Okay, that's a big thing that I really would like to see. So like, share, and subscribe, and thank you for watching.